I see you clearly. Let's go
Okay.
from the beginning. Sorry
Okay.
about the delay, guys. Thank you for sticking with us.
Yes. Okay, so maybe we can just start back with our first question, that what is plant-based living?
Yeah. So, plant based living is a very simple concept that you live off plants, you make conscious lifestyle decision, and you decide that all you're going to consume, whether it's in terms of the food and drink you consume, or in terms of what you put on your body, so your toiletries or your skincare, and you decide that you will only stick to plants. So, that's it. That's all that plant based living is.
Okay, and our second question was that why should we be doing why should I go plant-based? Why is it
Yes.
so necessary? What is this Hawa about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So very important disclaimer that I'd like to share before this is it's not just another fad. It's not a fad diet like a keto diet. It's not a fad. A plant-based diet or a plant-based lifestyle is something that has been in the work for centuries. Uh, they were talking about it during the French Revolution, they were talking about it a few decades ago, and we're talking about it now. Over the generations, the understanding and the motivation for it has changed and evolved, but it pretty much remains living off plants. Why you should go plant based today is for three main reasons. It's like for me, it was for my own health, and the way it was for you, it was for the environment. And thirdly, it is for the health of the rest of the human beings and for the future of the rest of the human beings and for our own future generation. Right? That's what when we need to secure a future for ourselves, that's what you need to do because going plant based, you're serving your own body, you're leaving the animals alone, and you're saving the environment and securing a future for our own self because the planet is going to survive us. Whether we hear or not, it's not going to make a difference to the existence of the planet. So when people are saying that the planet is dying or we're killing the planet, uh, it's our home that we're destroying and the prospect of a future that we're destroying because the earth will survive and heal. So as climate healers, what we're trying to do is rethink our choices and assisting the earth to heal because that's our one and only home. So even if it's not for anything else, just for that one selfish reason to secure a home and a future, we should go plant-based.
Yeah, because the earth will strive anyway. We are the ones who are actually gonna die if we don't take care of the climate right now. And we can already
Yeah.
see. I think 2020 is a disaster for all of us anyway.
Yeah, it started well, but what what just happened?
Corona has actually shown the world that this is what you have done, dude. And because I personally believe that the floods, the droughts, the extra rain, which was happening every year anyway, people have started
Mm-hmm.
to now see that because they are in lockdown. And now they really focus and see, okay, fine, what is happening around. Now they have the time to think about the climate, and before that
Yeah.
they did not have.
Yeah, we get so engrossed in our daily grind that we forget about the body that we're living in and we forget about what is happening around the world and we just lose the connect
Yeah.
between what we're actually doing with our life and what is happening in the world. So that's really important.
Yeah. So tell me one thing, that if it's so, I mean, if it's the plant-based diet is so important for us, then up till now, like like 20, 25 years of our existence of our life, no doctor has ever told us that we should be going plant-based and not having milk or not having dairy. And if you actually go to a doctor or a diet doctor or any other who's a heart patient as well, they will recommend that okay, fine, these are the amount of eggs you should be eating, and to a pregnant woman they'll give you a banana milkshake, and so everybody will include milk, everybody will include eggs. So it's very hard to understand for anyone to just like a layman like me and you coming to them and telling them, okay, fine, watch this movie and then you will get your enlightenment, but don't listen to your doctor. So that sounds really funny. So what do you want to say about this?
Yeah, that's true. So unfortunately, there is a lag uh, between the information, between the new research, the important research, and what our doctors are telling us. Essentially, what the doctors and medical professionals are being taught is what the big pharmaceuticals are teaching them. Unfortunately, that's the reality. And that is why, we need to be listening to the right set of doctors, I would say. So there is no dearth of doctors talking about a plant-based lifestyle and promoting a plant-based lifestyle. In fact, one of the most important documentaries that I would say, Forks Over Knives, that talks about Dr. Esselstyn and Dr. Campbell's work. So these are 70 plus year old doctors, and they're still fit and fine, and they've treated hundreds and thousands of people. They have reversed their heart disease, their diabetes, and dozens of other diseases, dozens of other lifestyle diseases, just by changing their diet. And they have got them off of medication just by
That,
changing their diet.
yeah.
So that is what, so we're so disconnected in what we are being told, and we just, we blindly follow. Like, we've been told to drink milk. We've been told that, if we want to build a body, or if we want to build muscle, then we need animal protein. But where is all that coming from? It's coming from years and years of advertising and agenda to promote and sell these products. You don't see an ad for bhindi. You don't see an ad for ghee,
By the way,
right?
I saw your bhindi paratha recipe and now I love it. So
Oh, yeah.
I love
Thank you.
my mother is like, ये पता नहीं कहाँ से सीख के आते हैं, but
My mother says the same thing. Like, where do you get these ideas in your head?
it's really nice. So now, I usually drink ghee ka juice in the morning. So what I do is I, take that strain of ghee and I put it in
Mm-hmm.
my as well. So, I'll not
Yeah.
miss anything. So it's like now, mama will make bhindi and I'll be like, thoda sa itna sa rakh do. I'll have a bhindi chapati today.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Yeah. Okay. So now we have understood that what is plant based and why should we go plant based, and you clarified about the doctors as well. So if somebody wants to from now as well, so like from now on, somebody wants to shift to a plant based diet, then how should we shift? Like how should we actually start the plant based diet?
So there can be multiple ways you can do it. You can decide to do it gradually, or you can just decide, okay, now is the day I'm changing. If you think that you could do something like this, if you are generally the kind of person who decides and then sticks to some things, then definitely you know do it. Otherwise, you can make small changes. So if you're non-vegetarian, and like I was non-vegetarian, and I used to have a whole variety of land and sea animals, and it hurts me to even think about those times now. But when I decided that I wanted to, remove these things from my diet, I removed some people. So if you are non-vegetarian and you're convinced that this is something that is going to benefit you, then start by removing some kinds of animal protein from your diet until you remove all kinds of meat. If you're vegetarian, and I understand that a vegetarian diet, even a vegetarian diet, which in Hindi is called shakahari, is not really shakahari, because most of what vegetarians eat is dairy based. You'll be having your milk, your paneer, your dahi, chas, ghee, butter, cream, cheese, and so even as a vegetarian, your diet is still very animal based. It's just that, you're not consuming the carcass of an animal, but you're still consuming the secretion of an animal, right? So, no matter where you are, you can take,
It sounds
sorry?
pathetic, but it's secretion of the animal.
Yeah, yeah, right? Think about it, and it's true. Sounds pathetic. How pathetic it is. Just think about how pathetic it is to be doing it. I
Yeah.
did. I thought that, and it's been 3 years. I haven't looked back, and I'm fitter than ever, and healthier than ever, and have my skin is glowing more than ever. So it's the best. It's the best thing you can do. So you
Yeah.
can take small steps. You can start removing those things, and when you're removing these things, remember that you're not depriving yourself of anything. There's a whole lot you can eat. You can eat all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the grains, the seeds, the nuts, the legumes, and there's so much you can eat. There's so much variety. Even if you had one new thing, one new plant food every day, a lifetime would be short to try everything. There's no dearth of things, and you're not depriving yourself of anything. In fact, plant food is the most nutritious food because when you're eating animal foods and you're processing them, you're taking things out of them like the fiber or the other micronutrients. But plants, it all the goodness remains intact. Yeah.
So, do we get all our calcium, iron, and everything through plants?
Very important. So when that question comes to your mind, ask yourself, where are the animals that we're eating getting all these things from? From the
Maybe they're
plants that they.
maybe they're making it on their own and then giving it to us.
Okay, so there are things that humans and other mammals produce in that we produce in our bodies, like you know. So you know about the concept of protein, how there are a bunch of amino acids, and some amino acids are essential amino acids, and others aren't. So the ones that aren't are the ones that our body synthesizes from the plants. And there are some essential amino acids that that we need that we need from the plants that our body doesn't synthesize. So it's true that our body does synthesize a lot of things and makes it usable into a usable form so that our body can use it. But similar to what animals do in synthesizing things from plants, that's exactly what we can do and get everything from the plants. So, in fact, there are plants that have more calcium than milk. So, if you're really concerned about milk, just pop some poppy seeds or sesame seeds or bindi. Bindi has a lot of calcium. And yeah, same goes for protein. All of the leafy vegetables have protein. Soy is a powerhouse of protein. In fact, it's a complete protein. And whatever myths we hear about soy and hormones, they've all been busted. In fact, as a young man or even as a young woman, if you're concerned about soy messing with your hormones, you should be more concerned about milk messing with your hormones because that is a hormone filled fluid.
Yeah. Okay. And how is plant-based different from being vegan? Because it's like
Mm,
you tell people that vegan is there, and then you tell them, no, no, I'm plant-based. So
mm.
they're like, oh, इससे आगे भी कुछ है. So,
Right, right. So there is a very basic difference and a very important difference between the two. Plant-based is an umbrella term for a lot of ways you can be. You could be plant-based and doing all kinds of things. It's more of a diet or a lifestyle choice. Veganism is something much more concrete. Veganism is a matter of principle because you value life. You value the life of an animal and you acknowledge that they're not put on this earth for satisfying our needs or our wants or our desires. And when you understand that, that's when you decide to go vegan. And you try as far as possible to eliminate all kinds of products from your life that come from animals. So that can be all the food products, so meat, dairy, eggs, honey. Then it comes to your clothing, so wool, leather, silk. All of these come from animals. Then, there are products that are tested on animals. You're opposed to that. And, using animals for entertainment. So all of these come under the
Also,
concept of veganism. Yeah.
the travel, and especially the dolphins and sheep taken for photographs. When you go out for
Yeah.
to the mountains, they
Yeah.
they keep those sheep so that you can take pictures in 10 rupees. And I've seen
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
brutally they keep them behind the scenes. It's really bad.
Yeah, exactly. And even the animals we see every day, like, you have even our traditions of Ghurchadi. Think about it and rethink and, reform your opinions. Yeah, exactly. It's a
Yeah.
social justice movement, someone has commented. Yes, it's a social justice movement because animals have the right to a life just like we do. Just because we don't understand them doesn't mean that we can disregard them.
So people went, like on rage for that elephant, and I was like, um, uh, you don't. I mean, you've been drinking milk and in non-veg and all that, and then now we are so worried about that elephant. I had seen a documentary. I don't know, a long back. Maybe I'm not good. I mean, I'm not correct with the number, but they said that in that city, especially, water was a scarcity. So this minister ordered that go and kill 14,000 elephants. Um, and
Oh,
of course, that did not help with any water scarcity, but they killed the animals. So this kind of culture of just killing away the animals, thinking that they're our own property, is like been from centuries. I think not even just now, but centuries, and it's really bad.
yeah,
Somebody's asked this
yeah.
question, which doesn't come from animals; it's taken from them.
Yes, yes. Everything, all of the things, all of the non-vegan things, they don't come from animals. We take them from them without their consent. We just take
Yeah.
them as if it was our right.
Okay. So then I will ask the next question. Someone
Sorry.
through PCOD or PCOS can also heal them by plant-based diet.
So, a plant-based diet has been successfully shown to reverse diabetes and hypertension. I am not aware of any clinical studies that have reversed PCOS, but I will tell you from personal experience that my own health improved and my own condition improved when I stopped consuming dairy. So, yeah, in fact, a lot of other people that I have come in the acquaintance of with respect to this very issue have said that it has immensely benefited them. In fact, a lot of doctors are now advising people with PCOS to reduce dairy consumption. Yeah,
Is
so it
it
would definitely benefit them.
because my sister has PCOS, and the doctor
Mhm.
recommended that she should be drinking milk twice a day
Really, the
still.
doctor recommended that.
And then my
Wow.
mother
So,
coming to take that look. You were saying don't, but she's saying yes.
oh, so there's a page on Instagram that talks about a proper health for PCOS diet. Maybe I can link you to that. And there is a doctor of Indian origin, Dr. Neetu Bajekal. She has been a gynecologist for years and years, and she's a plant-based physician. And she's been dealing with patients of PCOS and been helping them through a plant-based diet. So maybe you can refer to her as well, because a majority of doctors are recommending going off dairy if you're, having problems with PCOS.
Okay. So now comes the question, which is a very difficult question, and a lot of people have started to ask me since I've started my the vegan series, that how to
Hmm.
convince our parents. It
Ah,
is super difficult. They are too worried that we are not eating ghee, dahi, and if it's too hot, my mother will say that, "Oh, बेटा दही तो तुम खाओगी नहीं, तुम तो सुनने वाली तो हो नहीं, तो फिर क्या कर सकते हैं? दही से थोड़ा ठंडक मिलती है, and
yeah.
this was essential. Your body will go weak. How will you produce kids in the future? You will not have any calcium in your bones. My God, so much tension just because of not drinking milk." So how did you do it? I mean, are your parents convinced yet?
Yeah. So my parents are pretty much convinced. In
Okay.
fact, the only thing stopping them now is their own determination. My mother is mostly plant-based now. My dad, he still likes his tea and curd, but yeah, they became vegetarian long back. We were a whole family of non-vegetarians, but they've been vegetarian for years now, and my mother is almost plant-based. So how it happened for me was like my parents, they knew that, I like to try different things and I like to try new things. And that's how this started for me as well, right? I was just trying to do an experiment with my diet to see if it had any benefits for me. So they
Okay.
thought, okay, this is something new she's trying. ये नया चस्का चढ़ा है, थोड़ी देर में उतर जाएगा, ठीक है? So, so initially there was no fight at all. They just thought, okay, yeah, she'll get over it. But then, my determination kept getting stronger and stronger, and they started noticing changes in me, the way like changes in my health, the way I was talking to them, the way I was talking about the food we were eating. So that's when they started to get a little bit concerned that, yeah. So, so they did get concerned, and because I had done a whole bunch of research, I was able to tell them that, I was able to share concrete evidence with them. And I'm not saying that, you need to do research. Well, you should do research. It's highly recommended. Don't go blindly by what anybody is telling you on the internet. Not even me. Don't even blindly believe me. Please don't. In fact, ask questions. Be skeptical. That's how I stumbled upon this, right? So, and when I had this body of research in front of me with so much evidence, I shared it with them and I told them, see, this is what it is. And it's not their fault, it's not their fault that, yeah, you should believe me, Aditya. Aditya saying, I believe you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so, you don't have to, it's not their fault. Don't make them feel even inadvertently that it's their fault, because they've been told the same things and then they're trying to teach us the same things. Milk is thought of as a complete food. So many people say कि we don't eat dinner. We just take a glass full of milk at night and we get a good night's sleep and we are so fresh in the morning. Unfortunately, it's not true. And even if it is true, it's years and years of us conditioning our bodies to think that, okay, so you made your body used to it. You made your body used to that consumption of milk or that consumption of animal products. And so your body has gotten used to it. Your body is accustomed to it now. And you can very well reverse all those things and also reverse a lot of diseases that come with it. Now, you're talking about chronic diseases and lifestyle diseases. Where do they come from? They come from what they're eating. Obesity, hypertension, cholesterol, diabetes, thyroid, all of the factors, the majority of factors that affect these conditions come from our lifestyle and diet choices. So it's high time that we start feeding ourselves for our own health instead of feeding big businesses and their financial health. So
Yeah.
it's time to
So
take stock,
so
take
I used to
charge.
have migraine before I turned vegan, and that migraine used to be like 3, 4, maybe 6 times a month, and it used to be so bad that I started wearing dark shades in my own home as well because the light used to bother my eyes a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
since I've turned vegan, it's surprisingly that I've just had migraines only once or twice maybe. I mean, I don't even remember if I had it even once. So it's really amazing that I've not had any medicines past November. No Comluplam, no Disprin or no aspirin or anything.
That's
My
amazing.
Yeah, and my period pain has gone away, like it's so, like it's so calm and relaxed. I don't even realize that I'm down right now. So I read about it that the annual products also make you much more in pain while you're down. So I think this is also one more benefit which I keep sharing with people, that when you turn vegan, everything is just
Mm-hmm.
very smooth. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really nice.
Yeah, yeah. Your body doesn't have to deal with additional stress of eating animals and
Yeah.
processing those animals. So it's yeah.
Okay, so now one of my boss also asked this question when I went and told her that animals get hurt and we should not be hurting them for our own sake and everything. She started telling me,
Mhm.
plants भी तो रोते हैं, plants also get hurt, no? Just start eating air right now then. So what are your inputs on plants also feel pain, and should we not eat plants also now?
So there are two ways to think about this, two directions, whichever you find more logically appealing to you. First, we are feeding a much bigger volume of plants to the animals that we are in turn consuming. Okay, so in fact, we are all of the cattle on the planet consume enough grain that could feed almost 9 billion humans. So what? So the amount of food that we could feed the entire planet with is being consumed just by cattle that are being raised for milk and beef. Okay, so if you're concerned about the volume of plants or the hurt that they may be feeling, there are many more plants that are being hurt when we're indirectly consuming them through animals. Secondly, animals don't really feel pain. Pain, so there are receptors in our body, and plants also have receptors. They do react to stimulus. But there is a difference between, reacting to stimulus and feeling pain. For pain to be transferred, for to understand the sensation of pain, you need to have a central nervous system that, we have and animals have. So if you're pinched, that your nervous system carries that sensation of pain to your spinal cord, and it makes you understand that, oh, that hurt. That kind of a system is not present in plants, so they do not feel pain. Once and for all, plants do not feel pain.
Okay. Do we need to out these labels?
So the labels: vegan, plant-based, lacto-vegetarian, non-vegetarian,
Or
whole food plant-based,
raw vegan diet?
raw vegan. Yeah. So simple answer is no. We don't need to use any labels. Live the way you want. The only use for labels is for advocacy, for teaching people, for educating people. To make you understand what this is, there is a need for certain words and phrases, and for so that is where you need this jargon. But when you're living your life day to day, no, you don't need to, you don't need to tell yourself, okay, good morning, I am plant based, or I'm this or that. No, just live your life. It's that simple. Once it's in your brain, it's a part of it, and you don't have to think additionally about it, and it doesn't feel like a burden anymore. It's just something that is you, that's a part of you, and that's about it. Yeah.
There's this one question that do you think chicken would be extinct if they are not consumed?
Okay. Uh, Two things again. Unfortunately, more wild animals are going extinct because of our domestication of animals. We are in the middle of the sixth mass extinction right now. Hundreds of species are disappearing every day. And that is because of the habitat loss that we are causing because of animal farming. Because to raise animals, you need resources, you need water, you need land, you need air, you need fossil fuel. Where are you getting the land from? We're clearing the forests. We're clearing the natural habitats of the wild animals to domesticate some animals and to use them. Okay? In fact, about 80 to 90% of all of the Amazon forest that has been cleared, and not just the Amazon forest, but the forest in Africa, forests in India, forests all over the world. 80 to 90% of the Amazon that has been cleared is occupied by livestock. Livestock. Just think of that term. You're calling a livestock. You're considering them as stock, right? Something that you can use to produce some products out of and get money out of,
Yeah.
right? Just think how disconnected we are from living beings. Now, coming to the question of hens and chicken. Uh, well, their populations will certainly reduce because the only reason we have such a massive population of whether it's cattle or chicken or any other animals that we're raising to eat or to get products out of, the reason their population is so massive is because we are bringing them into existence. And then we're killing them by the billions every year. In fact, we're killing 10 times as many land animals every year as there are humans on Earth. So we're about 7 billion of us on the planet at the moment, about 7.5. But we're killing 70 billion animals every year. And that doesn't even include the animals that are in the seas and the oceans and the rivers.
Yeah.
I'm only talking about the land animals. So yeah, don't worry about chickens going extinct.
So somebody says stroke or a heart attack is equal to cholesterol is equal to dairy or animal products. 70 lakh people died due to stroke or heart attack.
Yeah, yeah. The biggest disease burden is of chronic diseases that are caused by lifestyle.
Yeah. Then somebody says if the population of sheep or some animals increase, it will lead to overgrazing.
Okay. Again, the population of domesticated animals cannot increase without human intervention. We are artificially inseminating the animals and bringing them into existence. Okay? When we stop using them, we'll stop bringing them into existence. So there is absolutely no way that they could overpopulate.
So the same person asks again, how can we tackle overgrazing in the case of increase in population?
So
So
yeah, so
Aditya's
that
replied,
won't be a problem.
we tackle overgrazing by feeding vegetarian animals human meat.
Okay. Fabulous idea. Why don't you start a Kickstarter? Why don't you pitch that, Adi? Let's see if that'll work.
Okay. Why are human beings so bothered about population of these docile animals?
Right? It's almost like an excuse. We use all of these things as excuses. And all this what if this, what if that, this whataboutery is not going to get us anywhere. You're presented with one situation, but then you try, and because you find it hard to tackle it, you want to divert attention away from it to something that may be equally important, but it also may be something completely baseless.
Yeah. Have you seen that series called Our Planet by Dr.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
there he shows one thing which is quite surprising to me, that the overeating of sharks is actually leading to pollution in the air. Do you know? So he shared that when the sharks actually go and find the food in the corals, they actually shake the
Mm-hmm.
corals, and the algae which is eating the corals gets
Mm-hmm.
removed. So the corals are alive because the sharks come and find their food in the corals, right? Now, because
Uh-huh.
we are having shark fin soup and we are eating more sharks, so there are less sharks right now. And when they
Mm-hmm.
go and find the food, they're unable to shake the coral. Now, corals are
Right.
something, they absorb a lot of carbon in the air, which goes into the
Mm-hmm.
ocean. They take away the carbon from the air.
Right.
So, because we are drinking too much of shark fin soup, we are increasing carbon in the air.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm amazed with this connection, like how we are all connected. Like, like we're connected with bees, sharks as well. So, it's a beautiful planet and, beautiful connection which the whole earth is made of, and we are, just destroying it. So,
Yeah.
somebody says that um, something on mosquitoes. People become nutritionists, environmentalists, animal right activists, blah blah blah. Start eating mosquitoes ना उनकी population तो बढ़ रही है, especially in monsoon.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about. It's not just the plants on land that are absorbing carbon, that are
Yeah,
absorbing greenhouse gases. It's also the plants in the ocean, and that's how we're all connected. In fact, some studies have there are some estimates that say that more carbon is absorbed by plants in the ocean, like the algae, the phytoplanktons, than the land
yeah,
forests. Yeah.
yeah. I've also read that theory, and they say that Amazon is supposed to be the lungs of the earth, but
Yeah.
lungs are supposed to um, inhale oxygen, right? So it doesn't inhale oxygen; it takes in the carbon dioxide. So it's
Yeah.
some some a weird philosophy which has been given. There's one question. Naturally, chicken lay 10 to 15 egg per year, but because of human intervention, they lay around 300 eggs per year. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I think it's about 200, but yeah, it's still a staggering number.
Yeah, so because of this, I think they die in a span of 2 years or maybe 1.5 year. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
Not even a year sometimes. Yeah.
And the cows, because we impregnate them again and again, they die in like 10 years.
Yes, yes. In fact, naturally, cows would live 20 to 25 years, but in dairies, they only live for about 5 to 7 because they are artificially impregnated every year. They're made to have a child and then separated from that child just so we can have our shakes and smoothies and pizzas. Which, may I tell you, you can have all of those plant based and still enjoy those things without harming yourself and without harming animals.
Yeah. Somebody is telling us that people are now eating locusts in Pakistan and selling them up to China and other places. That I don't know.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, wow, that's just. See, that's the thing, we will try to find fault in anything that someone else is doing. I did want to address this. People find fault in the dog meat eating that the Chinese do. Uh, some people find fault in eating beef. Some people find fault in eating pork, right? So there are these different kinds of understandings and different kinds of teachings, and it's always the other party that is at fault.
Yeah.
Someone else is doing the bigger damage. Someone else is doing the worst thing. So, and that's not me. If someone else is doing the worst thing, and again, that whataboutery comes back into play. So yeah, it's just ingrained in us to think of some things as being okay and some things as being wrong. And so it's time to rethink all of that whole big chunk of everything that we've been taught, and
Mm.
reassess and relearn some things.
So somebody is asking, how do you know all of this stuff? Are you a professor or something?
I'm on my way to being a professor. I'm doing my PhD right now. So soon, hopefully. Yeah.
Okay, so
But I
that is
did research before I went on a plant-based diet. I did research for a good 2, 3 months because I'm a researcher by nature and by profession. So I naturally I did That's how. Yeah.
So that was really nice. I think I have one more question here. How do you look so young? So that is by Aditya. How do you look so young?
That's what this session has been all about. Thank you so much. Yeah, okay.
No, no, I was just saying thank you so much. Thank you for this chat. It's been almost more than 50 minutes now. Um,
Great.
didn't even know that, where the time went by, and we had so many questions from people. So I'm sure all of you who have joined have got answers. I will post this video again on the feed. So if you have any more questions, I will send it to Pureen so that she can help us answer all of that. Is that okay for you?
Definitely, definitely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Gauri, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.